she Carmelia Blackwater and she kia ani sno she bashes chindo manda she chedo kila chini edashanala. Hi everyone, my name is Carmelia Blackwater. I am the current shelter director for the Tohdenasshai Committee Against Family Abuse Incorporated Tohdenasshai Shelter Home here in Kayenta, Arizona.
I'm Sandy Gray. I am a lead shelter crisis advocate here with the nonprofit organization for Kayenta Women's Shelter. I am bit anin shlon hachini bashish chin hanagat ni edasha chedo tapahai edashanala hot aisan.
My name is Mavis Begay, and I'm an administration assistant. I've been working with the Tohdenasshai Shelter Home for 12 years. My clans are Tohdenasshai Shelter Home.
The Tohdenasshai Committee Against Family Abuse Incorporated was incorporated in 1982. We are a nonprofit organization that is situated here in Kayenta, the Kayenta Township. As far as we know, we are the only 24/7, 365 days a year shelter that's operating on the Navajo Reservation.
We get a lot of referrals from the ICHS Police Department. There was at times, it seems like we're constantly on call 24/7 because we operate 24/7 to try to get to the needs of the victims out there that are in need of a lot of help.
It's a learning experience for me. I was actually compassionate when I started, just because of violence going on in my home or at home with my families and stuff like that. And I didn't know no resources or things until I started working here. And so I actually learned a lot from working here with the Tohdenasshai Shelter Home and helping clients and the victims that come through.
Based on the most recent census data, the homicide rate on the Navajo Nation is 4 times the national average. These alarming statistics help illustrate why the Navajo Nation has one of the most violent crimes rates in Indian country, with 2,524 violent crimes, 2,311 aggravated assaults, and 160 rapes reported to law enforcement in 2017. And here, we are the only shelter of the Navajo Nation that helps victims of crime, that help victims of domestic violence, women and children.
We continue to operate the shelter, and it's for a good cause, to try to decrease the violence of, domestic violence or even sexual assault. We help a lot in sexual assault cases with children and with their mom. And transportation-wise, they even do forensic interviews here. If they need transportation, we go out to their locations and we pick them up and we transport them. Flagstaff, Tuba City, even Gallup. So we do a lot of those things here.
Sheya, Cecelia Lucy Tree, one she. Aro just a jibra, isina sha, ashia ho. Aro don the enschenke, put a tree don the enschle. Not what the net hachini, that's a je. Aro the ashchi, it as a chedo, hanagani, it as another. What I son, Ado Shalchana, it's a stit. She cat heart or a catty Sitsoke, Patata, Ado Nakida, Natsuge, Kayaja, what I son and shla. As a child, I was myself an abused child. I was abused emotionally, I was abused physically by my own family member. Because I was born illegitimate, I think that was the reason why the person or my mother was, to her, I was probably a mistake or something. And she used to abuse me severely. And she didn't want me. But, I survived all that. And I know how it feels to be feeling unwanted, feeling hurt, feeling pain. I know how that feels. So when I saw these ladies, I saw myself as a child, and I could see their pain, I could feel their pain, and I wanted to help. So that was my purpose. I lost my mother when I was 19 years old, and my mom was my mom was murdered because the man that murdered her was jealous of her, had beaten her. She was murdered right in front of Kayenta clinic, and I was only 19 years old at the time. And I have 7 brothers, and I have 2 sisters. They were all young. I was the only one out of high school. And my 3 younger brother and sister, they were still babies. And my younger sister, she was only in kindergarten when that happened. And you never know what a person is like until, he had threatened her that he was gonna kill her, and he eventually did kill her. So you have to know that when somebody says that they're going to do this to you, you gotta learn and know that he means it. You can't just ignore and think, oh, that was just beer talk or wine talk or angry talk, and it will happen. And it hurts when your mom gets killed for no reason. My mom was only 36 years old at the time she got murdered. I have a higher power that I look up to. We all have different ways of looking up to something, But for me, I came from a Christian-based family. And for me, I look up to God. But there are people that look up to their creator. They call it Mother Earth, Father Sky. That's their right. You don't put down people because of that. And I just tell them that to have faith, to have prayer for yourself each day. And I just wanted them to feel good for themselves, to feel worthy, that they're a worthy person. Whether they're put down, whether they're beaten down, they're still worthy. They're still somebody. They're still a daughter to somebody, a mother to somebody. They're, a sister to somebody. And that no matter what their partners say to them, that they're worthless, that they're, good for nothing, they're still good for somebody, for something. They're a good mother. And that's why you're here. And that's why you need this help. And I know where you're coming from because I've been through that. And my faith and my belief is the thing that really brought me through. So you need to exercise your faith and believe in yourself that you are a good person, no matter what your partner puts you down or whatever, Back in the 1980s, I was approached by Anna Moon at that time, and they asked me if I would like to work with abused women and children. So I said, okay. And at that time, I guess there was no funding and no way to pay me. And one day I was approached again and I was asked that we cannot pay you. We're going to just shut down the shelter. But I saw the need for the shelter. And I said, no, I can work just voluntarily until we get this project off the ground. So we continued. And I don't know how many months I was there. And one day, I guess they got some money or something, but one day I was handed a check. And I started advocating for them that way. I went out to places to advocate for the women's shelter. And I went to Four Corners generating station. And there I did a presentation of how important it was to have a shelter home for abused women and children at the time. And during that time, I advocated with, I guess the guys, they donated their money like however much they wanted, whoever wanted to donate the program. So that happened, and some months later down the road, there was the board members, they wanted to have a meeting, and everybody was happy that day, and I was thinking, what's going on, and it was surprising. And then they said, thank you for your service, Mrs. Tree. And I said, thank you. I said, what's the purpose of this? And they said, look at this check. And I just started crying. And it was like, I think it was like 20 to 25,000. That was the very first check that it came. And at that time, it was just a house with 3 bedrooms, and would only allow a few ladies and their children to be there. So I've seen a lot of different things that these women went through. A lot of broken bones, broken nose, busted lips. Even the kids, some of them had blue eyes, bruises, because they were trying to protect their mom. And it was sad, it hurt, even though I wasn't abused, but I felt for the woman. So down the line, kept going. And maybe about a year or so later, when the funding came in and they decided to do how they wanted to do it, then there was 2 more staff that came on. So there was 3 of us that worked there. And so it came down and it started like that. And some years later, it came to this building that we live in now. And we can hold more abused women and children, not only abused women and children now. People that are stranded can stay for the night. There's men that are abused, they can come in as well, family. And so it's a great success, I believe, and it's truly something that I am proud of. And to know that, it started with just a house, and now we have our own building. The shelter provides like if they want to change their lives, we try to help them with furthering their education. Maybe that's the reason, because most of the ladies, they always say that the men are the provider. They're the ones that work. They're the ones that bring the money home. They're the ones that bring the pay for the food and this, whatever necessity that is there. So they feel like they're stuck, you know. So we provide education for them, maybe relocate, and that they need to do this before that anything severe happens. And you have heard the things that happened after I left. I've heard things happen. And so we try to encourage them to further their education. Yes, it will be tough, but it can be done. When these women come in, I look at them. Busted lips, broken arms, broken nose, looking at children with bruises, looking with a little girl with a black eye and her eye shut. And it just makes me cry. And I could feel it, I can understand it. And I just wanted the best for these women, for these children. They don't need to go through that. They have a better tomorrow, a better, they need to look for something better than what they were in. And they can do it. They can do it when they put their mind to it.